Back to the 12th verse on last time, we want to review some of the things that we're going to be dealing with tonight. Politics, right, which is really big on our news and debates that are going on. We're going to deal with politics. I'm not here to endorse anyone. I preached on that. Trump came to Greensboro, North Carolina, Stamey's barbecue. And I just wish I would have been in Stamey's that day, just so I could say that I met Trump. Hillary, she was over at UNC. I couldn't get into that. Obama was here the other day. I think they know none of them stopped at Stamey's. I just wish all of them would have stopped at Stamey's, and I would have been there. So we know that it's bigger than any political person. It's really sad where our country is, and that's what we need to be praying for. And we're going to learn a bit how God can use people that aren't saved. And that's what we're going to deal with tonight. Someone in review 25:9 through 11. Would you read, please? This is our pivotal point. Paul the Apostle on his way to Rome. We will get there eventually, and that's where it gets even more exciting as we get on the ship, making our way to Rome. But here he has to deal with the political establishment. He's gone through a couple of rulers already. Now he's dealing with Festus. His same appeal, his same testimony. I have done nothing wrong. If you can prove that I've done something wrong, I'll gladly die. I'll gladly go through the punishment, but you can't prove it. So this is a process, and these rulers are wicked. These are wicked rulers that Paul the Apostle is standing before, but that's not God's concern. God's concern is not whether they're wicked or not. God's concern is the gospel be lifted up, that a testimony be made, and we're going to deal with that God can send us into situations like that. Oftentimes we pray not to go into situations like this, but God's plan could be to go through situations like this. So I'm going to read Acts 25:12.
Then Festus, when he had conferred with the council, answered, "You have appealed to Caesar? To Caesar you shall go."
What can we learn from his tone within that scripture? Anybody? All right, doesn't sound like it's going to be a good outcome. His attitude, Festus' attitude wasn't good. Anything else? All right, sometimes you get what you ask for. Anger. He's angry because he was supposed to be able to take care of this. But now Paul the Apostle appeals to Caesar. And that's like asking for the higher court. Like you're in there, and if you have the ability to do that, you have the knowledge, you can ask for, I want to take this to the Supreme Court. And if you've got all your legal things in place, you can do that. And so the lawyer that was trying to prosecute you would get upset. Man, now I have to go through all this other things. I've got to deal with paperwork. And this is where Festus is at this point. Okay, you asked for it, here you go. Because he understood that Festus had a weak backbone, and he would bow to the religious establishment. And that's the issue. We got to be careful, even this political climate. We're talking about religion or churches being in charge. You got to be careful, because a lot of the issues have occurred within countries because of religion, not Jesus, but because of religion, the establishment being so strong. And we see here the religious establishment is very strong when it comes to that government, and they don't want to deal with that. They have a lot of people that are under that covering, and so now they're trying to play both sides. And they're only dealing with one man. They've got the Sanhedrin, all they want Paul the Apostle killed, and it would be easy to sell out. Let them die, and we just move on with our lives. But Paul the Apostle is covered by God's grace and mercy. We're going to see that over and over again. Let's look at 25 and 13. Yeah, Pastor Earl, go ahead.
It's great. Festus' plans. He got an opportunity to do the Jews of faith by taking care of his case himself. But when he said, I want to go out and see, that kills him out of where they going to be.
Politics. I mean, really, this is lobbyists, you know, we're dealing with. There's big money out there. And again, I told you we were going to talk about politics, not endorse anybody, but you would be amazed the money that's out there. And when you put billions of dollars down, your voice is going to be heard. It does touch people. That's why the Republicans are having issues, the Democrats, because you've got big lobbyists that are sitting there with a lot of money that are going on, and it's bigger than just the people. It's bigger than your district. Money talks. Money talks. We've always known that, but here we see in this thing, Festus is like, man, if I can please them, they're going to be on my side. They may give up more money to the government. They'll make my life a lot easier. Why do I have to go through over one man? We can make a difference. We can make a difference for living for Christ. We just got to stand strong, but we might have to go through. Someone go ahead and read that, 25:13. Okay, now we have another portion of the political establishment coming in. We had Festus. We've had all these leaders deal with Paul the Apostle. He wants to go to Caesar. So now this other sector comes in. And what are their names? King Agrippa and Bernice. Very important. Sometime after this, King Herod Agrippa II and his sister, Bernice, came to Caesarea to congratulate Festus on his new appointment. So now we get another level of understanding. Festus is just coming in. He doesn't want trouble. He doesn't want trouble. He wants everything to go well for him, everyone to celebrate him. Now he's got Paul the Apostle, and he's got the Sanhedrin, the Jews, that are against him. All right, all because of Paul. He's struggling at this point. Agrippa was the son of Herod Agrippa I, who murdered James and imprisoned Peter. Acts 12. Wow. See how everything goes around and around? You can trust the scripture. They're true. The veracity of these scriptures are very truthful. And so we see history coming together again. His daddy killed James. His daddy put Peter in jail. You think that affected him?
Yeah.
Of course it affected him. You think God is still in charge? Of course he's still in charge. God is just getting King Agrippa and Bernice exactly where they need to be. And he's had Paul the Apostle wait there. Remember, it's been months and months and the years now that he's been waiting. These trials have been going on. Paul is right where he needs to be at. His sister was a woman of unusual beauty. While historians ascribe an unsavory reputation to her, including her relations with her brother, the New Testament is silent as to her personal character. So we extrapolate, as we look at extra biblical material, that she has issues too, which most likely she does. And so they're coming in, we can pretty much say that they're unsaved. They're not believers in Christ. I think they know of Christ. We're going to find that out, but they don't believe in Christ. And it's all about their flesh. It's all about their passions. It's all about the things that they want. What a wonderful time to share the gospel. This could be their only opportunity, really, of receiving the gospel in this manner with Paul the Apostle. Look at that next one, 25, 14, and 15. Someone read it.
When they had been there many days, Petrus went forward to the apostle, saying, there is a certain man left taken by Felix, 15, about 30 sheep was the dollars of the truth before me, when I was in Jerusalem, asking for judgment against you.
All right. Festus, Agrippa, and Bernice. Agrippa and Bernice have been there how many days? Why do you think he waited to just kind of pull this up now? What's been happening those many days? Festus has been thinking about it, but Agrippa and Bernice, they don't know yet, okay? So I believe Festus is kind of trying his time, Right, come on into the city, Agrippa and Bernice, get to know the surroundings. This is my new appointment. Want to make you feel good, all these things. And they become more friendly with one another. Now, let me tell you about an issue that I got. I need you to help me out with this particular issue. Very, very, very important. Why do you think God would allow Paul to sit in prison so long? Anybody? Got to have a purpose for it in it. Actually, during this prison time, he's writing. God is giving him revelation. He's writing things. We've got Ephesians, Philippians, Galatians, book of Romans. We've got those Pauline epistles. He's actually sending out a letter. So what a great time to write while you're in prison. God can work it out. Whatever you need to do for the Lord, He'll make sure that you have time to do that. Also, we talked about it before, Paul needs to be here at this point to speak to King Agrippa and Bernice. He has to. This is preordained. This was established for the foundation of the earth. These three must meet.
Bible tells us that happened, but don't tell us what else happened. Jesus could have, I mean, Paul could have had a lot going on, but he could have been telling, I think, earlier scriptures that talks about how Jesus told the people in his book everything from Moses up until then. They could have told Paul some stuff. That Paul was sitting with a lot of stuff.
Amen. Amen. He is going through, but he has peace. We know Paul has peace at this point in that prison. And I was thinking as we were talking, I wonder how many people got saved that are not written in these scriptures. How many people did he get to witness to? How many guards did he get to witness to? It could have been an amazing number of people that are growing from Paul the Apostle being in prison. Look at his next verse. We got to get into the deliberation a little further. 25 and 16, someone read.
To them I answered, it is not the custom of the Romans to deliver any man to destruction before the accused meets the accuser face to face, and has opportunity to answer for himself concerning the charge against him.
This is my issue, Agrippa. This is my issue, Bernice. I've got someone who's appealed to Caesar. I ain't got no reason to send him to Caesar. That's a big problem. Because Caesar is the main one that's in charge. You just don't send someone there if there are no charges that can be substantiated. Go ahead and read that commentary, please.
First, we recounted the crude demand of the Jews that sentence be passed against Paul without a formal trial. Portraying himself as the upholder and protector of proper judicial processes, he told how he had insisted on a trial that was to defend his accuser face to face and be given an opportunity to defend him.
So Festus, he's walking a tightrope here. This is his new appointment. He doesn't want this to fall apart. He doesn't want Agrippa to report back and Bernice, this guy can't even control this new appointment that he has. He doesn't want that. So he's like, okay, I've got to portray myself as the person that's trying to do right. Paul the Apostle has already said that he's a what? He's a Roman. Right? He's a Roman citizen, born as a Roman, so they have to deal with that process or they can get in trouble. So there's a tightrope that he's walking here, but he does not have the proper paperwork to send to Caesar. That is a big issue, as said before. So read 25, 17, and 18, please. Certain Jesus. I want you to keep that in your mind. He knows it's like, these are Trump charges. Something about religion. That's what they fight on. All right, he's done nothing worthy of death, nothing against anybody. It's just that they want to kill him. Look at that first part. When the case came to trial, Festus found that the prisoner was not guilty of any crime against the empire. No, he was not guilty. And the question comes again, and we answered it, but keep in your mind, why didn't they just let him go? It had to be God's providence for him to stay. And this concerns me because, again, sometimes we want the easy route, and God could be saying, you need to go to the hard route. I told someone today, they were having some issues in their marriage and everything, and there's a quote by Garrett or someone that says, maybe marriage is not to make you happy, but to make you holy. You ever thought, I mean, we're like, oh, let me be happy. Well, maybe it's not. Maybe it's to make you holy, and then you might get a little bit happy later. Amen. Pastor.
The news about the resurrection here. He
Who?
said, it's Jesus,
Correct.
you understand what I'm saying?
Right. They had got news, but they didn't believe.
He talking about somebody who died but is still living.
Correct. You're right. And that's the way the world thinks about us. Oh, they go to church, some certain Jesus. They believe in Jesus. But Jesus is everything to us. When you go to a place, and there are a lot of God churches, but Christ is everything. That's what separates us. I can't be a universalist because Jesus is Lord of Lords. He's King of Kings. I just can't worship with people that are just worshiping God, because Christ, He's the way, the truth, and life. No one can get to the Father but by Him. That's what separates us. And I know it's tight. I understand it offends so many people, but that's all I have. Christ, Jesus.
And even though Festus didn't see him that Jesus was that wrong, he still had, the Pharisees, the Sadducees, and the Sanhedrin to deal with. If he would have let him go, then it would have been an uprising. He would have lost his point.
Correct.
He's dealing with it gingerly, even though he don't see any fault. He knows that if he let it go, the Sanhedrin can make big trouble.
Same thing is going on with the Republic. You got Trump there. Told you I'm not doing any field. I'm just trying to give you a picture of what's going on. You're sitting there, Paul Ryan is disagreeing, but Trump is a part of the Republican Party, and now you got all this stuff. They can lose everything, and they realize that. And it's like, okay, we don't vote for Trump. Who they gonna do? Republicans can't vote for Hillary. I mean, or what are you gonna do? You gonna vote for the independent, Gary Johnson? It's complicated. This is so complicated. You have to laugh about it because I know there's some Republicans crying tonight. They're just crying. They don't even know how they got to this point. There's some Democrats that are crying too. How did we get to this point? How did this happen? And so this whole process, this is where Felix or Festus is. He's like, I need somebody to help me out of this situation. Just a little side note. Can you see how the Antichrist can rise up? So I'm telling you, we're set up for it. I don't know if it's going to be soon, but the Antichrist, he'll come with answers. And the world will be so upset and so confused when this Antichrist is able to rise up and give the answers, they're going to gravitate. Someone to balance the budget, get us out of debt, make our lives better, let it be the wrong one. That's why we got to pray. We got to seek the Lord because there's so many things that are occurring. Yes, sir.
I want to have to be ready for this outside because the outside start being negative. And we have to deal with it. So the time to have to live church. You want all good. It's like awful when you yes, sir. Run into that. That's what we have to deal with the outside. They know for us.
Amen. You're right.
Kind of people talk about
Pressure. You're right. Pressure. All these things are occurring. Look at this next part, that next sentence. It says it was hung all on who? The case was hung on a certainty. I think that's powerful. That's powerful. His whole case hangs on Christ. Look at that next part. In speaking of the Savior of the world, Festus used the expression of certain Jesus. Bingham's comment on this is worth repeating. Thus speaks this miserable Festus of him to whom every knee shall bow. He's miserable because Paul the Apostle is a thorn in his flesh. he's miserable, man. He can't even enjoy his new appointment because he's got this prisoner that's causing problems, but he's not causing problems himself. It's just the problems that are around him. Just the fact that he's alive has stirred up a lot of issues for Festus. Look at that question. Do you think the present-day church really hinges their lives on Jesus? Why or why not? No, why? Angela.
We live in a high society, or a mean society. We're hinged on ourselves. Everything is for us. It's glorifying Christ.
Us. He said it's about us instead of Jesus. Even though we're in church, it's about what we want instead of Christ. Say,
Our lesson today was we've forgotten that we are the bride.
okay.
And so we're too busy planning the wedding and not preparing to meet.
Wow. We forgot that we're the bride, too busy preparing for the wedding, or, celebrating the wedding, and we're not prepared to be here. I think that's a lot that's going on.
The church, everyone here is a procedure of life. You would have to say, if we didn't, we'd be home right now.
Okay.
We're not as strong as we ought to be. But, a lot of other things I could think about. And enjoy it. All day and all that stuff, because we do believe Jesus. If it wasn't Jesus, I would be doing something else. So we still got to be stronger, but Jesus is the reason that we're here.
There's a remnant, all right? There's a remnant that's here. Look around. We've got hundreds upon hundreds of people that come to Ebenezer, and we've got other Bible studies going on, but there's so many people that don't partake in anything but just a Sunday. And that can be because of jobs or other issues, or it could be just purely religious. There was a time I went to church just because that's the way I was brought up. That's what you do on Sunday. Did you know this? You were brought up. What else you gonna do? I don't even know what plays on Sunday. I don't. Ever since I was a little kid, we've been going to church. And when I got big enough and on my own, and I said I wasn't gonna go to church, I wake up on Sunday morning, laying there like, what am I supposed to do now? Oh, really? Then what I did Saturday, I'm waking up on Sunday. I said, well, I guess I go to church. And so there are a lot of religious people that have not come to the point of hinging everything on Jesus. Deacon Rudd.
I just wanted to say I'm so thankful that I have learned on Christ, the rock, solid rock I stand. All other ground, sinking. Houses, cars, money, people, we all bring from Jesus. So I know the rock I'm standing on is Jesus. I don't have to fear it. Because the God of Jesus is there. Fear no man.
Not about our stuff,
Right.
it's about Jesus. Yes, sir.
Pastor, we try to do right. South Country, that's a full way. Football game, come on. Christmas, we have to look at TV, look at the ball game. And then this is the thing that pull the worldly things and serve the real Jesus. It's always, set before the good and evil. And we ain't careful, we kind of, watch the ball game. Why can't I go watch the ball game? The church would be scared. People in the church. And I guess this kind of temptation goes on all the time. Constantly believe that Jesus is in our heart because we have to have that to do right. Sometimes that causes us to go against the will that wants to give us the will.
Fellowship. Have you seen the change over the last generation? Just we have so much stuff, so many things to capture our mindset. One of my friends, he got a new car, and he's trying to make me jealous. But he got a real nice car. But he paid like $40,000 for this car, and I got in it. He wanted to show me all the doodads, and it has like 4 cameras on it, and Wi-Fi, and all, it drives itself, it parks itself, it brakes itself. And I'm just like, all these distractions. It was like getting in a plane and looking at all the instrumentation. It's just so much stuff. You know, we go into our houses and we got a home theater system. You got a remote for this stuff. You got a universal remote. You got a TV. It's smart TVs, dumb TVs, and a dumb phone, and a smartphone, and dumb kids, and dumb people. I mean, it's just, it's like dumb, smart, It's just so much stuff. So much stuff. You remember you just go buy clothes, you just knew your size. Now they got skinny jeans, you got flare jeans, you got boot jeans, it's just all these things, complications. This is where we are in our society, and if we're not careful, we can get caught up in all of these differentiations and forget that Christ is everything. Jesus is everything, and we'll wake up one day and we'll lost time. Lost time, our growth, everything with the pleasures of this world, and it will eat you up. It'll hollow you out. Our neighbors, they had this huge tree. Storm came in, and I knew the tree was messed up because you could see through the tree. Huge tree, but it had a big hole that when you drive, you can see right through it. But you would have never thought that tree would go down. Storm came, tree fell on the house. I mean, it was thousands of pounds of tree fell on the house. Why? Because it died from the inside out. It was huge on the outside, still heavy, but the inside had hollowed out. And I think that's what's happening with the church. We have a form of godliness, but we deny the power thereof because we're rotting from the inside out. We got to hold up Jesus in these times more than ever before. Very, very important. Someone get this next verse and I'll get that comment. Someone read 25, what? 20?
And because it was uncertain of such questions, I asked whether he was willing to go to Jerusalem and there be judged concerning these matters.
Festus said, Agrippa, I said, if you just go back to Jerusalem, basically saying you would have saved me a lot of trouble. Are you willing to go back there and face your accusers? And this was the issue. Paul said, I'm not going back to Jerusalem. He already knew what was going to happen if he goes back to Jerusalem. It's been prophesied what's going to happen if he goes back to Jerusalem. And so now the issues arise. Deacon Lynn. Amen. Paul the Apostle here, all he has is Jesus. He's in prison. He has some friends that are coming to minister to him that allow it, but he doesn't have any stuff. He doesn't have the possession of the world. There was one time he said, just bring my parchment and my cloak. Can you imagine? That's all you got in your life. Jesus, paper, and a coat. That's all you really own. That's all you're really concerned about. Think about how our lives would be if we were at that point. Some of you are like, that would be terrible. Or maybe that could be friends. Maybe? Look at this next verse, 25, 21, someone read.
But when Paul appeared to be reserved for the decision of Augustus, I commanded him to be kept until he could send him to Caesar.
Important, he's going back over the details. Augustus, a title for Caesar here, not a name. Very important as we go through the scriptures, a lot of times you'll see those, but it's not a name, it's a title, like president. So here at this point, Augustus. This, of course, raised a problem. In sending his prisoner to Rome, we've talked about this, what charge would he make against him? Since Agrippa was a Jew, and therefore conversant with matters involving Judaism, Festus hoped he would get some help in drawing up a suitable charge. What better way? You got a Judas coming in, Agrippa's a Jew, he can deal with Jewish problems, he can give me some paperwork so we can send him to Caesar, Augustus, and everything will be fine. I can go back to my leadership here in this New Providence, and I can get Paul the Apostle off my hands. I can wash my hands. Remind you anything? Who? Jesus. Pontius Pilate. Same thing. Jesus was a thorn in Pontius Pilate's side. Really was. He was a headache. Pontius Pilate was like, he hadn't done anything. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give y'all the option. Since he hasn't done anything, here's a convicted murder. Thief, everything. There's a law, there's a loophole here. You can choose who you want to set free. You know what? They chose the murderer. He's like, he hadn't done it. Let me tell you, I'm going to whip him. I'm going to whip Jesus. That should be enough for y'all. Crucify him. He couldn't get it. His wife came up. She said, I just woke up from my nap. I dreamed about this man. Don't touch him. He was stuck. Festus is stuck. Agrippa is going to be stuck. Bernice, everyone that comes in contact with Paul the Apostle gets stuck. Choose ye this day whom you will serve. That's where they're stuck at. They'll be stuck the rest of their life. Choose ye this day whom you'll serve. God or man? Look at that next verse. Someone read, please. 25, 22. Agrippa, he's interested. He's a Jew. Like, wow, this guy can't be that bad. All right, so what I'll do for you, since you become my friend over these many days, I'll listen to the case. I'll give you my expertise as a Jew, and hope we can come up with something so we can get this off your hands. See, this whole friendship is developing at this point, and there's curiosity. I want to meet this guy. All this disturbance around him, let me in. Isn't it amazing how God can elevate a prisoner to meet all of these high-profile leaders? This is amazing. That's why I wanted to meet Hillary and Trump and stuff. I guess I'm not elevated enough. Obama, some of you have. You shake Obama's hand. I want to shake him and hug him. And, just so I can tell y'all, I met such and such. No, I hadn't been elevated. But Paul the Apostle did, but his way was through prison. Look at his next verse. Someone read, please.
So the next day, when Agrippa and Bernice came from a great pomp, and they entered the auditorium,
Why so much pomp and circumstance? And, I mean, they've been there many days. It's Paul the Apostle. Why? Why is this? Big wheels? What is the purpose of this? What do you think?
Wanted to show Paul, this certain Jesus, hey, this is what we got going on. I mean, in a foolish way, they brought him in with all this, here this humble man in prison, with all of this, and I think this was their way of kind of showing their power, their authority.
Good. And that's the picture here. When we have people come from other countries, when they come, the president, Russia, if he comes here, he's going to bring pomp and circumstance. They're going to have their own security guard. They're going to have their entourage to come in to say, we are. I was looking at, it was on ABC. It was in Russia. They had a fight coming in. I don't know what they were saying. But they had the president, leader of Russia, he was up on the stage, and they had all the advisors there, and they had nice technology going on. They had the nice screens and everything, and as they were piping this around the world, what they were saying is, we're also intelligent. We're also technologically advanced. They put everything was shining. I mean, even the teeth on the people were shining. Everything was pristine. You like, the suits were there, everything. And even though they were speaking Russian, I didn't know what they were saying. They were high profile. You could tell. And then they panned to the audience. Everybody in the audience looked good. Everybody had those same suits and high profiles. And the chairs was nice. The auditorium was nice. They were putting out a message. And this is Agrippa and Bernice as they come in. They're putting out a message. We are, number one, Paul the Apostle, you need to understand, you're dealing with someone that's higher than your Jesus. That was another hand sentence.
It is also massage their ego, so that they can, so that, Festus, so he could show that, do all these things to do, kind of lean towards my side.
So we see them coming in with their power and authority. Yes, sir.
I would also think that it would probably be at that time, a media circuit like today, that this was something that was known of a guy who's on trial, and it's going from one level to the next. And then you have the Jewish section, which is rabid for their type of justice. And then you have this higher official, which is here to settle everything.
Very abnormal when you think about the environment that's going on, and they're dealing with one man. It's not a group of people, they're not trying to take over Rome. One man is getting this kind of pomp, circumstance, all these things surrounding him. One man, but God is with him. Yes, sir.
Sometimes in the military, I just want to read from you, when somebody is partial, and the rather the case, the high-profile case, before the section to go into the court martial room, you see that they bring certain top generals, and then when you enter a seat in the round table, I mean, it also puts some sort of fear in you, so that whatever you are supposed to tell them, it makes it easier for them to go into the brain and pull everything that they need from you to go to court martial room. So I'm looking at it like they see Paul as somebody who Paul's hands to him, and they realize that he's a Roman who knows so much in the Bible. So you have to actually create a scenario or a scene where when he comes in, you bring him to the courtroom, most probably you'll be able to get exactly what you're looking for.
Good. Pressure. I do want you to feel this. There's a lot of pressure in that place. Now, Paul the Apostle, he's got God's peace, but there's a lot of present pressure that's there. Look at that next verse. Someone read, please. 25, 24.
And Festus said, King Agrippa and all the men who were here present with us, you see this man about incapable of settling the Jews' position, both at Jerusalem and here, crying out that he was not fit to live in the land.
What drove them to such rage?
Christianity.
Christianity? Jesus? I wasn't expecting that answer, but it's true. What else? What drove them to such rage? He's our adversary. Satan. Demonic activity. So we got flip side. And I'm telling you, I think we're going to get, and I hope it's a long way down the road, but I think being a Christian is going to cost us something. It's already costing me something. I think it's going to cost us more. It's going to make us some choices, some things that we can't have, some places we can't go, some things that we can't deal with, and we just got to embrace that simply because we're entering into a dark time. Morality has changed. Morality, amen? Morality, and it's changed, I would say, in the last 10 to 20 significantly. I mean, there was always a moral level, but now it's twisted. That which used to be bad is proclaimed as good. That's the scary part. That which used to be bad, now they're saying, oh, this is great. This is freedom. And so that's the scriptures talk about that. There was a hand. Yes, Xavier.
Yes, I was also thinking too, all these people, all this pomp and circumstance, and Paul is at such a peace. He's thinking to himself, this is the audience I can preach to, he's not even thinking on the same level as being persecuted and martyred or, whatever what they decide to do. He's thinking, I can preach to these people.
I believe he is. And I'll be honest, at this point, I don't know if I'd have been there. I don't think I would have got this far. I was just like, whatever, can I have a plea bargain? I can't take this prison anymore. Really, pressure can do something to you. I've seen it. It breaks people. You're looking at years. This is not simply, getting a taxi or, a van to take you to Rome. You gotta go on a boat. I mean, this is a long journey to get there. Appealing to Caesar meant you could die in process of even getting there. But yet he appealed because he knows God's hand is upon him. And we've dealt with this fact. When you get to the point that you don't have fear of death, that literally you don't fear death. And you know, maybe y'all are at that point, but I think a lot of us need to grow. We fear. Fear. That's why you take so much medication. You're like, I don't want to die. Tell me exactly what I do. Y'all exercise? You know, most of y'all don't like exercise. Y'all hate exercise. But you fear death more. So you exercise and you go through these processes. How much better Christians would be? We could get to that point that literally, for God we live, or for God we die. And we can go in that power. Paul the Apostle, we believe that he's elevated to that level. Look at this next section 25 through 27. We're getting into testimony time. We're getting into that process that we can actually see Paul the Apostle began to speak, but the accusation from Agrippa, what he's going to deal with, and Festus bringing in. Someone read those, please.
But when I found that he had committed nothing deserving of death, and that he himself had appealed to Augustus, I decided to send him. I have nothing certain to write to my Lord concerning him. Therefore, I have brought him out before you, before you, so that after the examination has taken place, I may have something to write. For it seems to me unreasonable to send a prisoner and not to specify the charges against him.
We talked about why they didn't just let Paul go, because of the political environment. They can't. But I do want you to see within these verses, this is like a courtroom. We've seen the backstory. We know Festus and Agrippa have already talked. But now they got all the officials around. They got Jews, they got the Sanhedrin, they're there. They're in the courtroom. And notice the language that he's using. He's laying it down in a legalistic matter before King Agrippa. Line upon line, precept upon precept. Very important. He says, I have nothing in that 26th verse certain to write to my Lord concerning him. I said he could go to Caesar. I don't have anything to put on paper though. So I need your expert knowledge to get something out of him. He can go.
The one thing that is different though is that the Jews, and he knows about Abraham on up. He knows Jewish history. Festus don't know that. But Agrippa knows he can kind of fall his way into
Right.
Festus don't know that about it, but Agrippa knows. He's heard about Jesus. He knows about what the scripture says.
Now we get into that point, the challenge to Agrippa from Paul the Apostle. Let's get into a bit of his early life here, Paul's early life. Someone read, go ahead and read 26, 1, 2, and 3, and we can get that section.
Then Agrippa said to Paul, you are permitted to speak for yourself. So Paul stretched out his hand and answered for himself. I think myself happy, King Agrippa, because today I shall answer for myself before you concerning all the things of which I am accused by the Jews. Especially because you are expert in all customs and precedents which have to do with the Jews. Therefore, I beg you to hear me patiently.
I love this part, just extrapolating before we get to that commentary. Agrippa says you're permitted to speak. This whole process, these many days, we haven't heard from Paul. Nothing. He's been in jail doing his thing. At this point, Paul stretched out his hand and he answered for himself. It's like this stuff has been bubbling up. He is ready. I like the way he says. He says, I think myself what? Happy. Happy. And this is where Deacon Kelly brought up, he knows he's right where God wants him to be at. That's tough, guys and ladies. He's in prison. But he's standing before King Agrippa and Bernice and Festus. You say, thank you, Lord? Or God, get me out of this. I mean, this is a tough. What would be your prayer? Thank you, God, for putting me in prison that I can minister to King Agrippa and Bernice and Festus. Or, oh, God, I want to go home. I mean, this is tough. This is the flesh and spirit. And a lot of us live more in the flesh than we live in spirit. This is tough. This is high level of walking with Christ. I'm happy that I get to talk to you, King Agrippa, because today I get to finally answer for myself. And he's very knowledgeable here. Look at this. See, they accuse me, but especially I get to talk to you. Because I know about you. You are an expert. Wow. All these other folks, Festus, he don't know much of anything. All these other people, they don't know much of anything. They're just going with what the Jews have said. But you are an expert, and he brings out in all customs and questions which have to do with the Jews. And then he says these words. Please be patient. Because I got a lot to tell you. I love this. I love this. Right there. Because even if I got to this point, at this point, I'm just like, ooh. I'd be going so fast. He said, I'm going to take this easy. Because you can't go. Because God allowed you to be here. So just be patient. I need to give you exactly what God has spoken to my heart. Final part of the day. Someone go ahead and read that commentary.
Sitting before us has been well described as an enslaved king and an enthroned prisoner. From the spiritual standpoint, Agrippa was a pivotal figure, whereas the apostles soared on wings of faith, superior to his circumstances.
I want you to study here. How can God use us? How many situations that we thought was outside of the will of God, but actually they were right in the will of God? In your life, I want you got to think about those things that you thought, man, this is the devil. The devil done brought this. And you gave the devil credit for some of God's best work. I'm going to say it again. How many things have you given the devil credit for that were God's best work? Brother Goins.
I think also Paul is happy that he can say what's on his heart. He can witness totally without anyone interrupting him, anyone threatening to drag him away. He can say what's on his heart and what God has put up on his heart to say.
Amen. The Holy Spirit gets to speak that.
Man, I think it's interesting because you're like, I'll be, afraid to testify in front of this person and everything. But Paul has been preparing his entire life for this. When we think back how many times have we witnessed or told somebody about Christ, it's probably less than 10. But we've seen throughout Paul's, since he's gotten converted, he's told thousands upon thousands of people about Christ. This is second nature to him. This is just something that he does for fun, So it comes, the Holy Spirit is within us, but it comes with practice. So the more we do this, the more we're in God's will, the more we're talking to people about Christ, the easier it is to do things like minister in front of people who may be higher than us, because it's what's already within us that we've been working out in Christ.
What is God preparing you for? I mean, even in my life, I've speak to thousands of people. So there have been times I've had to talk to some people, and it brought lumps in my throat. Because there are people of power and authority. Not saying that you're that, but they're at a different level, carrying different spirits around. And I can feel pressure emanating from them. And some of you have been around. There's some people that are high rollers that walk, and they have demonic presence. And that puts more pressure on that. Paul the Apostle is standing before this Agrippa, who's experienced so much, and the enemy has used him so much. But now he has the opportunity to speak freely. Only God can do that. Amen. Come on to your feet. Let's close out in prayer.